Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome everyone. Today, we would like to explain about problem implementation ZISWAF in Malaysia and Indonesia for enhancing SMEs. This presentation is to fulfill the assignment for the contemporary Islamic banking course, College of Business, University UTARA, Malaysia. Our honorable lecturer for this course is Dr. Muhammad Adib Abdul Muin, and for the presenters are Athia Kamilah, CHETRINE ALYA RINAIMA, Nur FAUZIYAH, and also Wan Nur NILAM SARI. Okay everyone, let's just start it.
Okay, thank you so much. And in here with me, Nur FAUZIYAH, we talk about the introduction about problem implementation Zakat, Wakaf, Infak, and Sodako for enhancing SMEs in Indonesia and Malaysia. Okay, the economy is an important aspect for individuals as well as for institutions or government agencies in life. The economy plays a very crucial role because if a person's economic level is low, then their standard of living is also low. Poverty will lead to social, economic, and political problems in society, resulting in chaos and instability for the government. One way to improve the economy and address poverty is by empowering the community through donation, almsgiving, endowment, and ZISWAF, Zakat, Infak, Sodako, and Wakaf. Considering the majority of the population in Indonesia and Malaysia are Muslim, this approach is one of the instruments that can be a solution to reduce economic issues such as poverty, and this is closely related to the role of philanthropic institutions. Zakat is a strategic instrument and value that significantly influence human and societal economic behavior as well as economic development. And as we know that the productive utilization of zakat actually involves carefully planning and implementation, such as studying the causes of poverty, lack of capital, working, and employment. There is a need for planning that can develop productive zakat. And the development of productive zakat involves using zakat funds and business capital to empower the economic recipients, enabling the poor to consistently support their livelihoods. With the zakat fund, the poor can earn and steady income, improve their business, expand their ventures, and save part of.
Okay, now let's talk about the problem of zakat and wakaf. The first problem is about management, and the second is about mustahik, the third is regulator, and the last problem is about muzaki. The first problem it's about management of zakat institution, and here is the problem detail. There is zakat strategy and human resources, accountability, and also socialization and utilization of information technology. For the zakat strategy, the big problem is weak planning in zakat collection management, and zakat base is not yet optimal. And for human resources, the big problem are many ZISWAF management institutions are not run by professionals, resulting in effective implementation, and also low motivation, leading to a lack of interest in becoming amil or zakat managers. And for the accountability, the big problem are many ZISWAF management institutions lack good transparency and accountability system. It's causing public distrust. And also absence of standardized reporting and ineffective internal and Sharia audit. And the last about information technology, the big problem is inappropriate socialization and communication media. There shall be a balance between direct socialization and the use of social media, including collaboration with local government, and also minimal advertising.
And then the next we will explain about the problem of ZISWAF from the Mustahik side. So the implementations of ZISWAF actually has a significant potential to assist Mustahik in Indonesia and Malaysia. However, the significant issue in the utilizations of ZISWAF funds by Mustahik, where many tend to use these funds for consumptive purpose rather than the productive activities. One of the primary issue is that the many mustahik lack the necessary skill to utilize the ZISWAF funds productively. This this is imbalance often occur due to mustahik limited access to skill training and business development support that could help them use for the funds for the sustainable economic activities. And without the adequate skills, mustahik are more likely to use the funds for daily needs rather than investing them in a business or project that could increase their long-term income. In Indonesia especially, this issue is exacerbated by the limitation in zakat distributions and oversight system. Many mustahik in rural area have limited access to skill training programs and business development support, so the zakat funds they receive are more often used for daily consumptions. Additionally, the lack of effective monitoring programs lead to suboptimal use of zakat funds. And in Malaysia also, so the zakat distribution system is more centralized. Similar challenges exist, and many mustahik don't have access to relevant skill training and necessary support to start the development for business. So consequently, zakat funds are often used to meet short-term needs rather than being invested in productive purposes that can generate sustainable income. The lack of the integrated program that combine the zakat fund distribution with skill training and business development support is key for unproductive use in zakat funds. Without this support, mustahik don't have their necessary capabilities to effectively manage zakat funds and use them to improve their economic well-being. This problem indicates that the need for a more holistic approach to ZISWAF fund distributions, which is not only provides funds but also offers skill training and necessary support to utilize this fund productively. This way, mustahik can be empowered to use zakat fund more productively, ultimately helping them escape poverty and achieve the economic independence.
Okay, for the next one, we are going to talk about problem statement ZISWAF regarding of regulation in Indonesia. Related with research by Andi Latifa that said Basnas, National Amil Zakat Agencies, states that the potential zakat in Indonesia reached 233.84 trillion. However, in terms of collection, the realization of the significant potential is only 21.7%, or if we convert to rupiah, is about 71.4 trillion. Out of the total of 71.4 trillion in collected in ZIS, Zakat Infak Sedekah, payments through Official Zakat Collection Organization or OPZ only reach 10.2 trillion. The remaining 61.2 trillion was collected through an official OPZ. This data indicate discrepancies in zakat collection rules considering the number of official zakat collection organization with valid permits for the government to manage zakat. Considering this issue, Undang-Undang Number 23 of 2011 on zakat management was introduced to address or at least reduce the dispersity expression It includes requirement the potential zakat institution must meet before being approved as official zakat collection organization or class. After passing various assessment and receiving recommendation for Basnas, and therefore the implementation of Undang-Undang Number 23 2011 is crucial for the advancement of zakat management in Indonesia, must be adhered to apply by all parties involved, especially zakat management institution, through the synergy among all stakeholders, particularly professional zakat administrators with competent standard in their field. Zakat in Indonesia can gradually become more effective and optimal in reducing poverty rates, especially among the Muslim community. And then in Undang-Undang Number 23 2011, there is no specific regulation concerning the management of productive zakat. So the regulations are limited to those related to zakat collector or administrators. The absence of regulation governing productive zakat in Indonesia means that zakat distribution tend to support consumptive activities only, and the funds received by the mustahik or recipient of zakat are often spent in single instance without lasting impact. Consequently, this approach failed to alleviate economic disparities in the country. And therefore, government intervention is necessary to establish regulation regarding the management of zakat fund for productive purpose, which can address economic issue at their root, particularly poverty or economic disparities. With the widespread implementation of productive zakat, there will be a positive impact on the growth of small and medium enterprise or SMEs. The expansion of SMEs with capital source from zakat will create employment opportunities. This reduction in unemployment will lead to increased purchasing power among the community for goods and services. Increased purchasing power will subsequently lead to production growth. This growth in the production sector will be a key indicator of economic growth.
So next, I will talk about the problem statement in Zakat Society in Malaysia. So according to Muhsin Nurfaizin 2022, he said in his teachings that the Zakat Collection Center (PPZ) of the Federal Territory of Malaysia, there was a lot of zakat collected involving 24,000 people with a rate of payment reaching RM76 million in 2015. Basically, the body responsibility for administrating zakat in federal territory is the Federal Territory Islamic Religious Council (MAWIP). MAWIP authority is based on the Section 7 of the Islamic Law and Administrative Act, Federal Territory 1963. So, PPZ is responsible for carrying out the zakat collection as well as effort to deliver zakat preachings to the Muslim community in Federal Territory in Malaysia. While the affair of zakat distribution are maintained under the Baitul Mal Division, Federal Territories Islamic Religious Council (MAWIP), in his study, he states that there are so many Muslims refuse to hand over zakat to the PPZ. So recording the areas of payment reaching RM76 million in 2015. So the finding of the study obtained by Muhsin Nurfaizin 2022, they are among the main reasons why the community of Muslim does not make zakat payment at the PPZ in 2015. There was several factors that including the first one is there has individual
the community of individuals who are not longer working and or have retired. The second one is delaying payment of zakat from the prescribed period. And then the third one is paying zakat directly to the asnaf group and paying zakat in the other state. So this study found out that paying zakat in the state is the higher reason other than other reasons. So the factor that causes the community to shift zakat payment that were originally in PPZ and then move to other state is because of the community moving their place of residence and work. However, guys, there are also those who feel that the other state need more zakat funds. More of the state need reason because the factor of considered by BBZ's control. This is because the law in Malaysia does not prevent every Muslim in zakat paying zakat anywhere according to their wishes.
Okay, next is about ZISWAF institution in Malaysia and Indonesia.
Next, we will explain about the literature review from Zakat, Infak, Sodakoh, and Wakaf. So, each of the definition from the ZISWAF is first is Zakat. Zakat is annual obligation for Muslims with wealth above the nisab distribute to 8 beneficiary categories. So, the 8 categories first is fakir, miskin, fisabilillah, Gorim, Rikob, Mu'alaf, Amil, and Ibnu Sabil. And then the definition from infak and sedekah is voluntary contribution given to anyone in need. Next is definition about wakaf. Wakaf is assets earmarked for charitable purpose with process use sustainability like mosque, school, and hospital. The legal basis from ZISWAF is by Quran, Hadith, and Ijma or scholarly consensus. In Quran, the explanations about Zakat, ZISWAF, Infak, dan Sedekah there are in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 177 and 261. Zakat have economic empowerment. So zakat funds can support the small business and skill enhancement. Infak and Sedekah can support the social project improving infrastructure and healthcare. And Wakaf can provide long-term funding for development programs. The collection process from ZISWAF is through individual contributions, campaigns, and corporate donations. And besides that, the distribution of ZISWAF is carefully selected beneficiaries for direct aid, business funding, or support in education and healthcare. The implementation from Zakat itself have term and conditions. First is niyat, second is mustahik, third is muzaki, fourth is meeting the nisab, and the last is complete the haul. Besides that, the infak and sedekah have flexible and requiring sincere intention and targeted distribution. And the third is about the wakaf. The term is wakif, mawkuf, mawkuf alayh, and declarations of endowment or akad.
ZISWAF institution in Indonesia. In the practice of zakat management in Indonesia, the regulations governing zakat management are stipulated in Law Number 23 of 2011 concerning zakat management. Under this law, zakat management is defined as the planning, implementation, and coordination management of zakat funds in Indonesia is overseen by the National Amil Zakat Agency, known as Basnas. Basnas is a non-structural government institution consisting of 12 members appointed and dismissed by the President upon the proposal of the Minister. In terms of national zakat management moving forwards, Basnas has vision and mission to be achieved. So, here is the chart of the zakat management organization in Indonesia, structured from the central level to the regional level. Namely, for the national level, governed by Basnas or Badan Amil Zakat Nasional, and then at the regional level there are Basda or Badan Amil Zakat Daerah, and organization formed by community take the form of Lembaga Amil Zakat or LAZ, and both types of organization can establish smaller unit to assist their task. Maybe in the district, village, or other local level.
Okay, next, I will continue my part, which is introduction of zakat in Malaysia. So, guys, for you guys informations, in Malaysia, zakat management or zakat institutions is included under Article 74 in bracket Schedule 2 of the Federal Constitution of Malaysia 1963, where this provision state that zakat management is under the jurisdiction of the state. So therefore, based on the prohibition, each state is free to form the administrative structure of Islamic religious affairs, including the administration of zakat according to the suitability of each state. So in general, State Islamic Religious Council, which is we call it MAIN, established in each state to manage affairs related to Islam, including zakat. So in Malaysia, wakaf, zakat, and Baitul Mal institutions are placed under the responsibility of State Islamic Religious Council, also our State Zakat Board, which is only referred to as the State Islamic Religious Council, which is MAIN, or Zakat institution. In this context, all matters related to wakaf funds, zakat, and Baitul Mal are referred to them. So including in preparation or preparing financial report in the relation to funds. And therefore, MAIN will prepare also financial report according to their own practices by referring to several reference such as general accounting standard used by companies, MEPERS, on government bodies, MPSAS, and state enactment and fatwa decision for each stage. But however, from an administrative point of view, there are states that separate the management of zakat, Baitul Mal, and wakaf. But there are states that combine all these institutions under one in administration, and there are states that privatize the collection and the distribution of zakat, while wakaf, zakat, Baitul Mal remain under the administration of Majlis Religions. So guys, for you guys information, in Malaysia we have 13 zakat institutions under the management of State Islamic Religious Council, which is responsible for managing the regulation of zakat, as well as one of institutions under the control of the federal territory, and each of these institutions has different way of collecting. So the distribution of zakat as well as method of promoting or increasing payment of zakat to obligatory institutions. Okay, next guys, besides that, in Malaysia there are three of category zakat institutions in Malaysia, which is the first one is fully privatized, the second one is partially privatized, and the third one is no privatized. So for the first fully privatized category, zakat collections and the distribution of zakat activities are fully handed over to the respective corporate zakat office. Meanwhile, for the privatizations category, half of the collections activity are done by the corporate zakat office, but the distributions of the activity are placed under the Baitul Mal institutions. But in the state that not privatized zakat institutions, both distributions and collection activities become to the fully responsibility of Baitul Mal, under Baitul Mal. So as you guys can see in this table, You can see that the state by category in this table. For the first category, which is full privatizations, we have Selangor, Penang, Sabah, and Sarawak. For the second, privatizations, Federal Territory, Negeri Sembilan, Melaka, and Pahang. And no privatizations is Kedah, Perlis, Perak, Kelantan, Terengganu, and Johor.
In the explanation before, we are often mentioned about SMEs or small medium enterprises. And what about the SMEs, small medium enterprise? And in this opportunity, we are going to talk about the definition of SMEs, small medium enterprises in Malaysia and Indonesia. Related to the explanation about problem statement of regulation for Zakat, Wakaf, Infak, and Sodaqah in Indonesia, still there is a need for stronger regulation regarding to the management of Zakat fund for productive purpose. This is because Zakat fund received by mustahik or recipient of Zakat often gets spent without further management and resulting in wastefulness. Yet, if the Zakat fund were well managed, they could generate sustainable profits, and developing productive Zakat involves using Zakat fund as a business capital to empower the economic recipients, enabling the poor to consistently support their livelihoods. With this Zakat fund, the poor can earn and get steady income and improve and expand their business and save part of their earnings. The widespread implementation of productive Zakat will lead to the growth of small and medium enterprises, or we usually say it about SMEs. With small and medium enterprises expanding using Zakat fund as capital, there will be job creation. For several decades, small and medium enterprises have been key in creating job opportunities within the economy. The prolonged issue of unemployment is a primary motivation for the establishment of small business worldwide. As a result, many small businesses are founded both by choice and out of necessity. Regardless of the motivation behind them, small businesses provide employment opportunities for the unemployed seeking legitimate livelihood. Additionally, small business offer alternative income source for those already employed, ultimately expanding job opportunities. And about this mess, the Central Statistic Agency of Indonesia, or Badan Pusat Statistik, defines micro, small, and medium enterprises based on the quantity of labor, and small businesses are entities within 5 to 19 employees, while medium businesses are entities with 20 to 99 employees, according to Undang-Undang Number 20 of 2008 concerning micro, small, and medium enterprises. And the micro enterprises is a productive enterprise owned by an individual or a sole proprietorship that meets the following criteria. The business have net asset not exceeding to 50 million rupiah in Indonesia, excluding land and building used for business, and for the annual sales not exceeding 300 million Indonesia rupiah. And for the small enterprises, productive economy enterprises operate independently by the individual or a business entity that is not a subsidiary or branch owned. controlled of part of the medium or large enterprises based on a specific criteria. For the medium enterprises is the productive economy enterprise operate independently by an individual or business entity that is not subsidiary or branch owned. So from the net asset is the above of 50 million rupiah, and for the annual sales is above of 300 million rupiah for the small enterprise and medium enterprise.
Alright, so next I will talk about small and medium enterprise in Malaysia in terms of Zakat initiative. Okay, one of the initiative of Zakat institutions in improving small and medium business SMEs can be discussed through the exciting study that discussed the effort of Zakat institution in improving SMEs in Malaysia can be seen throughout the study conducted by Rahman 2022, which is he stated that in 2019 the phenomenon of COVID-19 pandemic that occurred has prioritized trade and causes the economy recessions to be affected. This has an impact on the majority of businesses, especially small and medium businesses and macro SMEs. Due to increasing outbreak of the COVID-19 in 2022, the government has declared a MCO, which is a movement control order against the local and the community need to order must be obeyed by the Malaysians. So throughout the MCO period, all the face-to-face businesses activities has been stopped, thus affecting the monthly income of small and medium enterprise. So the negative impact experienced by the SMEs (SMEs) has been given attention by the Zakat institution managed by Islamic Religious Council, which started business capital assistance before the COVID-19 pandemic. However, this effort was further improved in the terms of number due to the increase in entrepreneurs who become recipient of Zakat as a result of this disaster. So among the assistance given is financially assistance in the terms of capital at one-time cash payment. Only it was facilitated by the Zakat Selangor institutions, which is channeled RM 12.1 million in COVID-19 assistance to businesses and workers from the B40 group, whose source of income is clear. Nevertheless, the Zakat Collection Center, which is Islamic Religious Council of the Maui Federal District, has allocated as much as RM 15 million for a new aid, which is Musada Tijaria, which is target 5,000 recipients. Furthermore, the Council of Islamic Religion and Malaysia and Malay Custom Opera has run the Asnaf Capital Assistance Scheme (ABAM) in provide small enterprise special assistance capital worth RM 2 million to Asnaf traders. So in addition, the State Zakat Institution of Kedah Darul Aman has successfully distributed the Business Assistance Jaya Diri Scheme amounting to RM 1.8 million in 2021 and 1.4 million in 2022. Next, the Johor State Islamic Religious Council has collaborated with Johor Biz Digital for Asnaf businesses marketing online. Meanwhile, assisting in preparing the business platform is only done by three Zakat institutions, namely Perlis Islamic Religious Councils and Malay Custom Mipes, and the Pahang Islamic Religious Council Zakat Quotation Center, and the Johor State Islamic Religious Council. So this is influenced by several factors, including the needs of traders who are more interested in the capital assistance or one of financial assistance, because this initiative helps in terms of capital and finance for SME entrepreneurs affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So training is not the main requirement of Asnaf entrepreneur, because the most traders already have knowledge in their business, their own business.
Okay, for the next one, we are going to talk about the importance of ZISWAF. The community is the most important element in the management of zakat, infak, sedekah, and wakaf. It is because the community acts as both the giver and the beneficiary of zakat, infak, sedekah, and wakaf management. Zakat is part of a religious mechanism aimed at income distribution equity. It involves collecting wealth from those who have access and redistributing it to those in need. However, zakat is not meant to impoverish the wealthy. This is because zakat is only taken from wealth that meets specific criteria for zakat obligation. Zakat is divided into two categories. The first, zakat related to individuals' bodies, namely zakat al-fitri, and the second, zakat related to wealth, namely zakat on possession, or usually we call zakat al-mal. Zakat al-Fitr is the zakat charity given by every Muslim at the end of Ramadan and before Idul Fitri prayer during the night of Idul Fitri. The purpose of zakat fitri is to share happiness with the less fortunate on the joyful day of Idul Fitri by providing them with basic necessity, especially food. And for the zakat al-mal is the zakat given from specific types of wealth that have the potential to grow, which have met the criteria of zakat, namely nisab, or the minimum of threshold, and whole. Whole is a full lunar year, is about 12 months, and both zakat al-fitri and zakat al-mal are obligatory for specific individuals who meet the criteria and are distributed to certain group specific in the Quran. The differences lies in the zakat al-fitr is give collectively, specifically on the night of Idul Fitri, and is used for consumptive purposes for those in the designated A categories on the day of Idul Fitri. Meanwhile, zakat al-mal is paid according to the respective wealth payment period, or call, is about 12 months and can be utilized for productive purpose. And Islam not only mandates zakat but also encourage infak, sodako, and wakaf. Islam encourage Muslims to engage in philanthropy so that wealth does not merely circulate among the wealthy only, but the unfortunately person can feel the wealth also. The urgency of philanthropy in Islam can be seen in how the Quran emphasizes the balance between giving zakat and establishing prayers. The command to give zakat, al-ita az-zakah, is reiterated 72 times in the Quran and is coupled with the command to establish prayer, al-iqam as-salah. The word infaq, along with its various derivatives, appears 71 times, and the word sedekah appears 24 times, highlighting the meaning and activities of Islamic philanthropy. This explanation is according to a researcher by Abdurrahman Kasti. And one of benefit of performing zakat for the musaki is to cleanse and purify the heart from greed. Zakat not only serves to prevent the musaki from greed but also brings wisdom and benefit to the mustahik. One of its benefit is to cleanse and purify the heart of mustahik from the disease of the heart that often arise due to income inequality in society. Feelings of envy, jealous, and angry that arise can become factors driving criminal behavior such as robbery. Therefore, zakat plays an important role in safeguarding the wealth of the muzaki from criminal action triggered by envy due to inequality in society. From of a social perspective, uh, zakat can also enhance the emotional bond of the muzaki with those around them. This bond is built on feelings of compassion, brotherhood or sisterhood, and mutual support. It creates an atmosphere of security, peace, and harmony within the community, which in turn can serve as tools supporting successful effort to improve the overall economy of society. And ZISWAF itself holds significant urgency in the context of Islam and the Muslim community. Through the ZISWAF, Muslims are expected to actively participate in creating a fair, just, and caring society. Here are several reasons why ZISWAF is considered important. The first one is means to purifying the soul. Yes, it means zakat, which literally means pure, is evidence of one's effort to purify oneself, both from greed, covetousness, and excessive love for worldly possessions. Zakat also purifies one's wealth from the right for others. Second, realization of social concern and in Islam, the importance of living by principle of solidarity or takaful and mutual care, tadamun, is emphasized. ZISWAF is way to realize these principles. If prayer's function is spiritual guidance toward Allah, and ZISWAF function as a nurturing compassion toward others. Hablum minallah and hablum minannas. For the ZISWAF is for hablum minannas. Means, and then the third means to seek social assistance. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala provides assistance to His servant who obey His teaching. Among these, teaching is the obligation to fulfill ZISWAF. 4. Expression of gratitude to Allah. It means fulfilling ZISWAF is an expression of gratitude for the blessing bestowed Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And 5. Asomiotic in Islam. It means that zakat is one of the 5 pillars of Islam known to every Muslim, alongside prayer and other pillars of Islam. So if we turning the zakat, so it can say that we fulfill the 5 pillars of Islam. Yeah, it's related to axiomatic in Islam. Okay, for the next one, we are going to talk about the importance of ZISWAF. The community is the most important element in the management of zakat, infak, sedekah, and wakaf. It is because the community acts as both the giver and the beneficiary of zakat, infak, sedekah, and wakaf management. Zakat is part of a religious mechanism aimed at income distribution equity. It involves collecting wealth from those who have access and distributing it to those in need. However, zakat is not meant to impoverish the wealthy. This is because zakat is only taken from wealth that meets specific criteria for zakat obligation. Zakat is divided into 2 categories. The first, zakat related to individuals' bodies, namely zakat al-fitri, and the second, zakat related to wealth, namely zakat on possession, or usually we call zakat al-mal. Zakat al-Fitr is the zakat charity given by every Muslim at the end of Ramadan and before Idul Fitri prayer during the night of Idul Fitri. The purpose of zakat fitri is to share happiness with the less fortunate on the joyful day of Idul Fitri by providing them with basic necessity, especially food. And for the zakat al-mal is the zakat given from specific types of wealth that have the potential to grow, which have met the criteria of zakat, namely nisab or the minimum of threshold, and whole is a full lunar year, is about 12 months, and both zakat al-fitri and zakat al-mal are obligatory for specific individuals who meet the criteria and are distributed to certain group specific in the Quran. The differences lies in the zakat al-fitr is give collectively, specifically on the night of Idul Fitri, and is used for consumptive purposes for those in the designated 8 categories on the day of Idul Fitri. Meanwhile, zakat al-mal is paid according to the respective wealth payment period or whole is about 12 months and can be utilized for productive purpose. And Islam not only mandates zakat but also encourage infak, sodako, and wakaf. Islam encourage Muslims to engage in philanthropy so that wealth does not merely circulate among the wealthy only, but the unfortunately person can feel the wealth also. The urgency of philanthropy in Islam can be seen in how the Quran emphasizes the balance between giving zakat and establishing prayers. The command to give zakat, al-ita az-zakah, is reiterated 72 times in the Quran and is coupled with the command to establish prayer, al-iqam as-salah. The word infaq, along with its various derivatives, appears 71 times, and the word sedekah appears 24 times, highlighting the meaning and activities of Islamic philanthropy. This explanation is according to researcher by Abdurrahman Kasti. And one of benefit of performing zakat for the musaki is to cleanse and purify the heart from greed. Zakat not only serves to prevent the musaki from greed but also brings wisdom and benefit to the mustahiq. One of its benefit is to cleanse and purify the heart of mustahiq from the disease of the heart that often arise due to income inequality in society. Feelings of envy, jealous, and angry that arise can become factors driving criminal behavior such as robbery. Therefore, zakat plays an important role in safeguarding the wealth of the muzaki from criminal action triggered by envy due to inequality in society. From a social perspective, zakat can also enhance the emotional bond of the muzaki with those around them. This bond is built on feelings of compassion, brotherhood or sisterhood, and mutual support. It creates an atmosphere of security, peace, and harmony within the community, which in turn can serve as tools supporting successful effort to improve the overall economy of society. And ZISWAF itself holds significant urgency in the context of Islam and the Muslim community. Through the ZISWAF, Muslims are expected to actively participate in creating a fair, just, and caring society, Here are several reasons why ZISWAF is considered important. The first one is means to purifying the soul. Yes, it means zakat, which literally means pure, is evidence of one's effort to purify oneself, both from greed, covetousness, and excessive love for worldly possessions. Zakat also purifies one's wealth from the right for others. Second, realization of social concern and in Islam, the importance of living by principle of solidarity or takaful and mutual care, tadamun, is emphasized. ZISWAF is way to realize these principles. If prayer's function is spiritual guidance toward Allah, and ZISWAF function as a nurturing compassion toward others. Hablum minallah and hablum minan nas. For the ZISWAF is for hablum minan nas. And then the third means to seek social assistance. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala provides assistance to His servant who obey His teaching. Among these, teaching is the obligation to fulfill ZISWAF. For expression of gratitude to Allah, it means fulfilling ZISWAF is an expression of gratitude for the blessing bestowed Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And 5, asymmetric in Islam. It means that zakat is one of the 5 pillars of Islam known to every Muslim, alongside prayer and other pillars of Islam. So if we turning the zakat, so it can say that we fulfill the 5 pillars of Islam. Yeah, it's related to axiomatic in Islam.
Okay, now I will explain the evidence of zakat wakaf from Al-Quran. The first is zakat. There is in Surah At-Taubah verse 103, the translated is, "Take from their wealth and portion of zakat, by which you purify and sanctify them, and pray for them. Indeed, your prayers are source of comfort for them, and Allah is the all-hearing, the all-knowing." And then the second is for wakaf. There is in Surah Al-Imran verse 92, and the translation is, "You will never attain pity until you spend from that which you love, and whatever you spend, indeed Allah is knowing of it." The third is about infaq. There is in Al-Baqarah verse 3, the translation is, "That is, those who believe in the unseen, establish prayer and spend out of what we have provided for them." And then the fourth is about sedekah or sadaqah. Here is Al-Baqarah verse 261, and the translation is, "The example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah is like a seed of grain that sprouts 7 ears. In every ear there are 100 grains. Allah multiplies His reward for whom He wills, and Allah is all-encompassing and knowing." Okay, the evidence also come from hadis Nabi Muhammad SAW. For sedekah, the translation is, "And charity will equalize a great mistake with fire and water." Hadis riwayat At-Tirmizi and riwayat Ahmad. And then the second is about zakat. The translation is, "Islam is built upon 5 pillars, testifying that there is no deity but Allah and Muhammad and His messenger, establishing prayer, giving zakat, fasting during Ramadan, and performing pilgrimage to the house, Kaabah, for those who are able to do so." Narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. And then, for infaq and wakaf, here is the translation, "A servant's 2 feet will not move on the day of judgment until he is asked, held accountable about his life and how he spent it, his knowledge, and how he acted upon it, his wealth and how he earned it and spent it, and about his body and for what he used it. Hadis riwayat Tirmizi. Okay, after all, now we talk about solution of zakat wakaf institution. The first is from management perspective, the second is from mustahik perspective, and the third is regulator perspective, and the fourth is from muzaki perspective. Okay, the first is solution of management. There is zakat strategy. We can address the weak planning in zakat collection management. OPZ can strengthen its vision or mission, strategic plans, and annual work plans. They can also explore and assess the potential of other zakat bases. And then, the zakat base can be optimized through the implementation of zakat core principles by OPZ through FOZ or Forum of Zakat Institution to enhance professionalism and credibility. Then, the second is about human resources of AMIL, that ZISWAF management institutions should be managed by professional personnel to enhance effectiveness. Therefore, certification for Zakat managers or AMIL Zakat is necessary along with management training program for all employees. Then, the second, AMIL Zakat are individuals working to support their families. Thus, it is fitting to ensure smooth operations from Zakat collection to distribution while also considering with their welfare. In this regard, Zakat management institution can be supported by the government in providing fair compensation or allowance. Additionally, implementing rewards and punishment mechanism. Then, the third is about accountability, that many ZISWAF management institutions lack transparency and good accountability system, leading to public distrust. Therefore, utilizing information technology in zakat collection is crucial, such as blockchain, crowdfunding, and social media. Zakat management institution, along with all stakeholders, can increase capital expenditure to invest in IT. Then, the second is improving and implementing reporting standards in collaboration with FOZ and relevant authorities can address the ineffective internal and Sharia audits by implementing Zakat core principles. And then the last is about socialization and utilization of information technology, where socialization and communication media should be appropriate in balance between direct interaction and social media, because according to the Radio Republik Indonesia, the majority users are aged between 18 until 34 years. Therefore, while social media is effective, face-to-face socialization remains necessary for individuals aged 14 and above, requiring collaboration with local governments. Then, for the last is about advertising and essential for zakat institution to disseminate information and increase their visibility. Therefore, all stakeholders, including the government, zakat management institution, and muzaki, need to strategize advertising effort across social media, television, or banners, poster, billboards, and all of things.
The next explanation is about solution for mustahik. The challenge of beneficiaries using zakat funds for consumptive rather than the productive purposes hinders the potential of Islamic philanthropy. The effective utilization is crucial for zakat to truly elective poverty and empowerment communities. Addressing this issue requires a multifaceted approach including education, mentorship, innovative fund distributions, continuous monitoring, collaborative, and leveraging the technology. So the first solution is about the education and skills training. Providing financial education and training in entrepreneurial skills helps zakat recipients manage their finance better and invest in sustainable long-term projects. Second is the bottom sentence and guidance. So the successful entrepreneurs can mentor zakat recipient, offering the valuable advice and building their confidence in making sound economic decisions. The third is innovation of distribution approach, allocating zakat funds as a working capital or interest-free loan for small business fosters economic development and reduce the reliance of consumptive aid. And then the fourth is about the continuous monitoring and evaluation. Robust monitoring system ensures zakat funds are used effectively and aligned with their intended purposes, allowing for the continuous program improvement. Five is about utilizing technology for transparency. So information technology improves transparency in zakat fund management, auditing, and preventing misuse of funds is the relevant thing. By addressing this challenge, zakat funds can be more effectively utilized, enhancing the economic self-sufficiency of beneficiaries and contributing to sustainable community development and empowerment.
Okay, from the next, we talk about the solution of problem regulation of ZISWAF, especially in Indonesia. And Indonesia have law about zakat management that involves to Undang-Undang Number 23 of 2011 concerning zakat management, which amended law number 38 of 1999 regarding the management of wakaf. Indonesia also has law number 41 of 2004 concerning wakaf. In the implementation of ZISWAF practices in Indonesia, the states doesn't enforce them as their implementation in voluntary. In Indonesia, the state, through its government bodies, also grants permission for Islamic community organization to establish ZISWAF management organization. Additionally, it has the authority to impose sanction on this organization for any violation related to ZISWAF management and may revoke their permit if their zakat management activities don't comply with applicable regulation. This regulatory framework ensures adherence to the rules governing zakat management, thereby maintaining transparency and accountability in the administration of charitable fund for the benefit of society. Undang-Undang Number 23 of 2011 in Indonesia currently lacks regulations specifically addressing productive use of zakat fund. So, the government intervention is crucial to establish regulation governing the management of zakat fund toward productive use. With widespread adoption of productive zakat practices, small and medium enterprises can thrive by receiving capital from zakat fund, and this growth in SMEs will create job opportunities. Thereby, it can be reducing employment rate. So, because of that, the economic will be developed because of the adoption of productive zakat practices.
About the solution of the problem statement in the term of zakat in society in Malaysia. So, in order to overcome the problem related to the loss of zakat collection that occurs in PBZ, the main factor is due to the people paying zakat in other states, and there's also people who have moved place of residence or work. Therefore, the PPZ needs to explain to the community through the main mediums of zakat promotion so that the information presented can be obtained by the community. For example, explaining the priority of zakat payment should be made where the income or property is obtained. There is more afdol issue according to the place of income rather than residence. The next, as explained before, the priority to pay zakat in the country where the zakat property is obtained. In addition, PPZ also act to give consent remind to the community to repay the zakat payment by the last quarter of the year. This is because there's a few who still not aware either internationally or unintentionally of delaying the payment of zakat at the proper time. Therefore, the work of giving reminders must improve by using any medium that can be delivered to the community more effectively.
So the next is about the recommendations for community regarding ZISWAF in Indonesia and Malaysia. The first recommendation for society is enhancing understanding and participation. Understanding the importance of ZISWAF is crucial since in Islam. This practice is not only fulfill the religious obligations but also play a significant role in community development. And it is essential to educate the community about how ZISWAF can alleviate poverty, support education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Encouraging regular participation in the ZISWAF contribution can lead to substantial positive change in our society. And second is supporting innovations and collaboration. To improve the efficiency and impact of ZISWAF, we must support the innovation in zakat distribution methods. These include adopting new technologies and practices that can streamline the process and ensure that funds reach those in need more effectively. Additionally, fostering collaborations among zakat institutions, government bodies, and non-government organizations can enhance the reach and impact of the program. Emphasizing the transparency and accountability in zakat management is also vital to build trust and ensure that funds are used appropriately. Next is about empowering the local community. One of the key ways to utilize ZISWAF funds productively is by empowering local communities through entrepreneurship training and support for small business. Providing skills training and business development support funds by Zakat and Wakaf can help beneficiaries become economically self-sufficient. And this will not only enhance their resilience but also contribute to overall economic development for the community. Next is the recommendation is promoting zakat based on investment. Advocating for zakat-based investment is socially responsible project in another important step. This investment can fund initiatives that have a positive social impact, such as the renewable energy project, affordable housing, and sustainable agriculture. Promoting the partnership across the different sectors can maximize the positive impact of this wealth distribution. Ensuring that the community can contribute to the societal well-being in sustainable development. So, in conclusion, the effective implementation zakat ZIFWAF in Zakat and Wakaf in Indonesia and Malaysia require a multi-faceted approach by enhancing understanding and encourage the participation, supporting innovations, emphasizing the transparency, empowering communities, and promoting the social responsible investment. We can maximize the positive impact of ZIFWAF, and we can work together to harness the full potential for ZIFWAF for better our society and achieve the sustainable development goals.
Okay, Alhamdulillah, after all, we arrived in the last section. It's about the conclusion of this presentation. So, for the conclusion, ZISWAF have a big contribution to SMEs because can help people to grow their small business. Zakat Institute also helps in providing a business platform, including the exemption of the rental fee for the premises. Despite the current challenges, solution to address Zakat issues to help SMEs following. The first is management. So this of institution should have Zakat strategy, upgrading skills of human resources, upgrading transparency and good accountability system, have good socialization and utilization of information technology. And then the second is about mustahik. So they can upgrading education and skills training, have a mentorship programs facilitated by successful business expert. Innovative approach involves allocating a portion of zakat funds, monitoring and evaluation system for zakat, strengthening collaboration and utilizing technology for transparency. And then the third for regulator, as a regulator, the state formulates laws and regulation governing the management of ZISWAF. These regulations are intended to assist and serve the Muslim community by providing legal frameworks that ensure the smooth implementation. And then the last is about society. That ZISWAF institution have to give constant reminders to the community to repay the zakat payment by the last. This is because there are few who are still not aware, either intentionally or unintentionally, of delaying the payment of zakat at the proper time. Okay, that's all our presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.